But yeah, did you hear Frank? Is Frank in there?
K1GMM, I'm in here.
Hello there.
Hey, what's up, brother? Wow.
Hey, what's shaking and baking? Yeah, I was listening before. I had to run upstairs, and good to hear you there, Carl. And is Angelo? Angelo was in there. And good to hear you, of course, Brian. Yeah. Are you getting any rain out there yet? Boy, it's a mess looking out your way. But it looks like it's south of you again. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's the same deal, just about the same, like identical as yesterday, ain't it? It's dry as a bone here.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's just skirting by you. Don't you love it, Carl, when you unplug stuff and you forget to plug it back in? I've done that more times than I can count, and I wonder why. Actually, the 7300, right? When we get a storm, I unplug the power cable out of the back of the radio, and I sat here for like 20 minutes trying to figure out. I'd key the radio, and the radio would just shut off. And it would actually, the radio turns on without the power cable plugged in. I don't know where it's getting power from. I guess the USB port or something. Don't ask me. I key the radio, and then boom, it would go off. I'm like, what the frick? I've never had an issue with this rig. And then I realized, 20 minutes later, the friggin' power cable's unplugged. Go ahead.
I never had a USB. I used it to update it, but not for the clock. Because when I first got it, I looked at the clock and looked at my clock, and it was a few minutes off. And it drove me nuts.
What's going on,
I'd be
Ed?
looking at my phone
doing,
and then looking at the time. It was like, why ain't it the same time in mine? It wasn't very much off. It was like bonkers, and I got to look and
Sorry about that, guys.
where did I find? Oh, on
Having a hack
Facebook.
attack.
I have a group on Facebook. They're
What's up,
saying
Eamon?
about other people were having it.
How you
It
doing,
just came
buddy?
up on my feed one day. I'm like, really? There's an app to set the clock? So I downloaded it and put it in and plugged the USB in, and they fixed it. It has not been, it didn't change since. But when I first got it, man, I was, it would be like right now it's for 3:15. It was a 3:25 or something like that. It was 10 minutes. Maybe it was minus. I can't remember, but it was 10 minutes difference. And I was like, whoa.
You're one of the fortunate ones, Ed. You keep missing me. That's why you're probably staying sane there. No maniac influence.
Get to set the clock, and I unplugged it and took the laptop back upstairs. But I'm waiting for a new firm upware update there. And maybe some new usable, features for the 7300. I know they upgraded the last one. They upgraded the spectrum scope, and they upgraded something else. I don't remember, but everybody was asking me about something about the spectrum scope. I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But because they said, oh, you got the new update. And I said, yeah, that's the way it came out of the box. So I'm just waiting for a new update. Maybe they have some new features we can play with that makes it more... One thing I would like is that, how I think the 7610, I think it has the actual analog. It looks like an analog meter, but it's digital. That'd be nice. But I don't know how you would put it on the 7300, because the face pretty much, there wouldn't be no room for that little, digital analog meter look. I just don't like the bar graph, big long bar. I just never did like a meter like that. I remember I had a radio, but it was all LEDs. We'd go blue to green to red, I think it was. I think it was a Kenwood. I used it. A friend of mine let me use his radio, and it was a bar, but I said, man, I wish it really had an actual meter, an actual meter instead of having that bars across the face of the radio. So, but I never knew I never had a computer plugged in. That'd be kind of cool. But again, it'd be kind of frustrating too, because you turn it on and the transmitter, bloop, off it goes. I'd be like, what? I'd be the same way. Because that's funny. But I do know on the computer, I did turn off the power supply. And it was showing on, that's when I first hooked it up. I didn't have the power supply hooked up yet. I just plugged the computer into the radio and in the data port. And it was showing the 7300 enabled. I'm like, how is that possible? The 7300 power supply is turned off. And then when I turned it back on, it went bleep. And then it gave me, it went out and went back on. I was like, that is weird. But, yeah, it indicated the 7300 was, and I never had it hooked up to that computer yet. And it showed it had its, the port was there. Thought that was kind of weird. KB3 RDT.
Yeah, all I can tell you is don't ask me anything, man. You're going to get no comment from me. My brain is freaking shot, man. I can't remember anything from 5 minutes ago. And that's the truth. I have people say to me all the time, I just talked to you about that yesterday. What's the matter with you? I was like, hey, I told you. I hope you're not getting senile, Brian. Are you older than me or younger than me? I'm 57, going to be 58 in October. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a baby, man. I'm only 49.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, you haven't hit the half-century mark yet, dude. Wait till you hit 50. You think stuff started falling apart at 40. Oh, yeah, dude. It's coming. I'll be there. I'll hold your hand. And I got a bib handy if you need it. Go ahead.
Oh, Lord. It's weird because, I'd say the past year or so, I've been like, my eyes are just not the same, man. If I'm soldering something, like, if you're working on a rig or something and you're soldering, it's like, oh God, and break out those binoculars would probably work well. But for now I'm using a magnifying glass, okay?
That hit you 45. I have it.
Holy cripe, man. I can't, it's like, what's the matter here? Am I on drugs or what?
No, you're going to need bifocals before too long to read.
Oh, Lord, honest to God, man. Yeah, like reading my phone now, I keep it a little distance away. So, yeah, that's getting there, boy. Thank God my hearing is good, but eyesight's pretty important, yeah, before long I'll probably get a prescription lens,
I'm gonna need hearing aid pretty soon too.
No.
You haven't spent a lot of time at the computer, have you, Brian? Like with your work? Have you ever had a job where you're at the computer all the time? Because that's what torched mine. My eyes fell out of my head at 40, and it's from the wedding photography stuff and just all the hours and hours and hours looking at a computer screen. I swear, I don't know that definitively, but I think that's what happened. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, years. I'd say going back about 10 years ago, I was a co-owner of a computer / radio repair shop. And so, yeah, I spent a lot.
Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Monitors,
Uh-oh, long-legged chicken. Oh, that's cool. Well, it's not, if they're not, your eyes are better than mine were, 10 years ago. So you're okay. You're in good shape. Not that I'm a doctor or anything, but I need cheaters for the phone. How are you doing, Carl, with that stuff? Are you in the same situation? I don't know how old you are. And that's personal information. You don't have to share it on here. but I know you're probably not wearing a skirt, so you're probably not sensitive to that. K1 GMM.
It doesn't bother me. Nah, I'm diabetic, and I became diabetic at 38 years old, and I'm 2 years younger than Brian. I'm 47. And like I said, about 45, my eyes were, I was the same way. Of course, I like to work on old boat anchor stuff. You look me up on QRZ, my years there, you'll see I'm born in 1975. That didn't bother me. Everybody said, why did you put your birthday, your year you were born on there? I said, well, why not? I mean, I know a lot of people don't have it on there, but, I don't care how old I am.
Yeah, Chris, he's running the 7300, believe it or not.
That's the way I looked at it. But, yeah, I had to pull out a couple. I like to get one of those clamp-on magnifying glass, Brian. I don't have one yet, but I need to get one that you can clamp on or something. And I tell you what really bothers me is working in something that has a corner. Like if there's something in a corner, and I just I don't know how to explain it. It's just like if it's in a tight corner, I have a hard time focusing. Am I soldering the right part, or am I not in the right area? Because it's like things start to move. Like your vision, it's not physically moving. It's like, I know what you're talking about. Am I on drugs or what? But yeah, something it just starts to look like it's moving, but it's not. And you're looking at it because you're kind of like looking at it cross-eyed, I guess, because where it's located. But yeah, that's not fun. But I know what you're going through. Like I said, when I was working on the Viking, there's a couple places in there I had to get to. There was capacitors and stuff and resistors. I had to get them out of there. They were out of tolerance. I just snipped one leg off, and sure enough, it was a couple 100 ohms out of tolerance. So I said, God, I get that out of there. And there was also a 100 ohm resistor. It goes for the VFO. It actually was open. I'm surprised it didn't, the voltage didn't hurt anything, but in the VFO area, but it didn't. Maybe it did, but maybe that's why I had to change out that one capacitor. That's probably what took that one 500 volt capacitor. I put 1,000 volt in there and it didn't bother it, but maybe that's what cooked the original silver mica. But I don't know, but like I said, that hit me between about 43 and 45. And I wasn't in the computer business, but or anything like that, but I did do a lot of hours watching TV. And I was curious one day, because somebody said about it, I wonder if CRT computer monitors were worse on your eyes and stuff than the new LED monitors. I was just curious about that, because I do know they put out a certain amount of, some people sit in front of those things probably less than 14 inches away. I do know they give out some kind of like an RF radiation type thing as old CRTs. I remember I put my ear up to one and you hear that sound to it. I don't know if you guys ever did that, but I do remember listening to a monitor one time, got real close to it from the back, and my uncle or something said, "You shouldn't be doing that. That could cause some brain damage." I'm like, what? Yeah, but anyway, I don't know if that's true or not. It's KB3RDT.
Yeah, they are. I think they are worse than the LEDs. I don't know for sure, but.
What's going on, Bill? K4IBC, how you doing?
Real close.
You hillbilly.
CRTs, that is no good for you. It's actually like a laser that's firing to the screen. So, and pretty high power too. So it's probably no good for us,
Is it I thought I read somewhere I'll make sure I'm not doubling. Yeah, I thought I read somewhere this is quite a while ago. It's something to do with a flicker that messes with your eyes. Is that really true? Have you heard that, Brian? Go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I picked up, which have been a godsend, and every ham radio operator should have them that has compromised eyesight, right? Is, those, they were cheap. It came in a box with multiple lenses, all different magnification power lenses, and it's got 2 LEDs, a little button on the top of it. You put it on your head. Man, I'm telling you, man, that is, I don't do any soldering as far as surface mount stuff. I'm too shaky for that. But even, working with like fine magnet wire and trying to make smaller connections and stuff, it's just, with my eyes the way they are, it's amazing the difference. I have them on my head all the time. I actually go upstairs sometimes and I still have them on my head, and I realize, oh crap, I don't need these on. I was getting ready to sit down and watch TV. I'm like, dude, snap to it here. Go ahead.
That's funny. I won't even attempt surface mount anymore. No, I ain't gonna do it. I'll ruin the board or something, I have trouble focusing on that fine tip and where it's gonna land. I don't know how to explain that. The hand-eye coordination, I guess, which I don't have any trouble. If I go to reach for a knob or something, I go right to it. But that's so small and tiny, and the tip of that gun is so small. I'm through. I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to, along those lines, you get a kick out of this probably. I don't know if you've ever uncorked a radio, opened the transmit up on it. Well, I was going to do that on the 7300, right? And if you've looked inside a 7300, the diode or whatever it is that needs to come out of there, it's easy access to get to it, right? But I had someone tell me, they said, well, if you're going to do it yourself, do a dry run. Don't just go after it with a hot iron. Do a dry run. And of course, my eyes aren't good, so I had the spectacles on. And I did a dry run, right? And I wanted to open it up for a transmit for using a transverter, UHF 70 centimeter transverter for satellite work, for working linear satellites, right? And so that was the reason. I had no interest in opening it up for any other reason. So I figured, what the heck? I'll do a dry run. So the iron was off, right? No heat. Had the spectacles on. Had the case opened up, and I went in there. I could see perfectly fine, right? Well, I stopped when I got the tip on one end of that little diode or whatever it is in there. And I flipped the spectacles up, and I looked, and the freaking soldering iron was up against a ribbon cable. And I was like, holy crap. You torch that ribbon cable, I mean, that's pretty much a done deal. You have to order one to disassemble the entire radio. There are some sensitive things around there that it wouldn't take much heat to torch it, And so I was talking to a friend of mine over in VK, VK3EME, Mark. And he did it to his, and he had a great idea. He says, what you want to do is create a heat dam. He had a 7300. He said it took him longer to get the cover off than to get the diode out, which is true. I can imagine that, because it's easy access. You can get right to it. And he took old CDs or a DVD, snapped it in half, and laid it into the case around that diode, so there's absolutely no way he could touch one of those ribbon cables. Freaking great idea, K1GMM.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a really good idea. Oh, my God, yeah, that would have been terrible. Oh, man. Oh, I'm glad you went in for the dry run there. Holy cow. But just that easy, you can ruin something, So, I've thought about doing the Mars mod, just basically for the 60 meters, make it a little bit easier on 60 meters. But these radios here will allow you to throw a carrier on CW, so it's not really needed anymore. I think so. You know, I didn't bother to do it. I have no use for it. You know. I do have one radio that is modded, and that's the FTDX 1200, and also the 725 in my car, which for the mobile, I like to have that capability, you know, because we get some pretty fierce weather, and the truck drivers at some point, you know, could quite possibly save your life, you know. W2 VOA.
Yeah, right, Chris. That's so true, isn't it?
That's something I never done is open the radio up. This one, well, I opened up one, and it did not like. It powered on, and when we got up, and it smoked. That was the what was that radio? The 2100, the Icom 2100, the first one I bought. I was like, wow. But that didn't last long. I don't even know what. Somebody wanted me to open it up so I can do Mars mod. So I can talk on merge frequency to another fellow that didn't have a ham license.
Yeah.
I was like, well, there goes the Mars mod. It's definitely.
We've got lightning up north in Vermont.
Oh, no.
That ain't good. Oh, in Rutland.
Victor Alpha 3, Victor Mike Delta, the Godfather.
Good Lord. Who swatted that hornet's nest?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Vito? Hey, Dougie. How you guys doing? Nothing much. Just watching the lightning about 20 miles north of me. Just saw a pop in Rutland there, so, and I'm going to have to get out of here in about 10 minutes, but good to hear you guys. Got to go get my daughter. Put it over to you first, Doug. Hopefully you can copy me. Got a good copy on you. How you doing, man? K1GMM, then stick it over to the Godfather there.
Down here. No problem. So this is the 7000. She's up and running. Vito, I hear you in there. I'm going to pass it to you in a second. Carl, I heard you in there. Good to hear you. Go ahead, Vito. Pick it up.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Doug. Nice to hear you, buddy, and glad you got the 7000 going on. And I'm actually just on hold on a conference call, and I heard Larry King there, the voice of audio, out in Vermont. So I just wanted to quickly jump in and say good afternoon from Toronto. Good afternoon there, Doug, and good afternoon there, Mr. Larry King. How you doing?
Good. Shoulders shrugged as usual, and I am pushing a live stream because I'm bored, and I figured I'd do something here. I'm on the Anan as well today, and been working a lot with diversity, with huge amount of success, with very little. There's pretty much, I was playing on 20 meters. I listened on 20 earlier, and the Russian woodpecker was there, and I was like, oh man, I got to post a video of this. I was able to completely crush that bastard over the horizon radar. The Russian woodpecker, you know that thing? That goes in there? Freaking wiped it out 100%. Couldn't even hear it, and the signals were all still there. It is freaking amazing, I'm telling you. Nothing I can't get rid of with this thing. And I'm running just a 6.5-foot whip, a Serial 5000 with a set of base-loading coils, all in series. Common input, common output, right to the whip for 20, 40, and 80, and actually works 17 through 80 meters. Really, I almost gave up the hobby a week and a half ago, dude. I was ready to sell all the equipment. I had some noise come in here, and it was just absolutely bombastic. A complete wipeout, 20 over across 20 meters through 80 meters. I don't know what it was, but totally demoralized. So I figured before I sell everything, I'm going to get a decent, start playing with a diversity antenna. And voila, man. Really cool. So that's what's been going on here. Go ahead, Brian. Put it back over to you. And you can send her around the horn. If it takes longer than 5 minutes and I don't come back, it's because I got to go. I have to roll out of here at 1:15. And Brian, I can never remember your call, dude. I'm sorry. VOA, is it W2? I can never remember if it's a kilo, a whiskey, or a November VOA. Voice of America, I got K1 GMM.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, good to hear you again today. 2 days in a row. This is a special treat there, Steve, for sure, man. Whiskey 2, Voice of America, and hello, Doug, and welcome back, Vito. The band's been getting better here, but now we got some more solar activities, so it's probably gonna go in the shitter again, you know. But for now, we're enjoying it for while we can, you know. W2VOA.
Hey, how long have the bands been good like this? Especially 40. Really quick, Brian.
Yeah, 3 days that I know of.
Oh, not that long. Okay, so I wasn't missing anything. I just got lucky when I jumped on yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was perfect, dude. Perfect timing.
See you, Chris. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe this is a good time for me generally. A little bit earlier. What time do you get in here normally, or is it a hit and you don't know? Go ahead.
It's all over the place, man. I'm in and out of here all day, you know.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, so I'll just... you're going to make me work for it, aren't you? Go ahead there, Carl. Keep her going. 5 minutes and counting. I will be back, though. I'm going to leave everything idling. I've got the radar and the lightning map up on 2 different monitors, and I'm watching it. It looks like that's going to slide west of me, coming out of Rollins, moving northeast to southwest. What a freak show this weather is. I'm telling you, this is something you'd see in a hurricane. That's the only time you see this stuff like this. So very, very bizarre. Anyways, go ahead, Carl. K1 GMM.
I'm not hard to find.
No, I find them quite a bit. Yeah, all I have to do go around 7222, and if he's not there, then I'll just find a station. It's, you know, and there he is. He's like me, an old buzzard. Gets along with it sometimes, but hello, Doug, and welcome back, Vito. And I'm gonna slide out of here for a few minutes anyway. I'm gonna go up and get another cup of mud or coffee, bean juice, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not espresso. I had that once. Woo! That'll knock the socks off of a donkey. I don't know if you guys ever tried espresso, but I tried it one time, and I was like, wow. But I ate my coffee bean before. That was like, and, you know, coffee beans, I shoot them up and eat them, but man, this stuff was like, wow. It's like I had a whole mouthful of coffee beans in there and just tried to chug it. I took one sip. It was hot. And after I got it down, I was like, boy, is that coffee. I wasn't expecting that. But I thought it'd be sweet or something. But it was definitely strong and pure coffee. But it was funny. My sister looked at me. She said my eyes, one eye was real small and the other one was real big, like, you know, like somebody went wacko or something. I was like, what? Your eyes went funny. I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, there was some kind of effect there. I'm like, oh, it was affected all right. I said, you want to try it? She says, no, I'm good. But first time trying espresso. I guess I had in the face there. But I always don't know what you're referring to there, but the Russian woodpecker was a dog, 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 dog sound, not a. That's more like. I know what it is, but it's a government transmission, but it's not the Russian woodpecker. It's actually U.S. government. I don't know what exactly they're using there, but it's something in the on the band. They use it on all the bands actually. But it's actually something government. They're just trying to block certain frequencies.
Wrong. It's coming out of Europe.
That's what it is. It's probably Ukraine. Who knows? Could be anywhere actually. But they all use them. It's just to block a certain, to they can't broadcast. Kind of sad, but anyway, that's the story and that's the way it is. But how you been doing? How you doing with the Anan or the Apache, whichever you want to call it, the 7000? Whenever I saw the name of them, I called them something else instead of Anan. I called them an ANN. That's what I did. I called it an ANN because of ANAN. I didn't know what they were called, so I called it an ANN radio. But it's Anan. Somebody told me how to pronounce it. I was like, oh boy, I felt stupid. So anyway, Doug, go ahead and take it. This is KB3RDT. I'm going to go home and get another cup of coffee.
Hey, really quick. Hey, this is definitely coming out of the East because I flipped the array and it's coming out of Europe, unless it's coming from Maine, but the band's too short on 20 for me to hear it from Maine, I doubt. I don't think. Yeah, this is, most likely it's over, from what all the guys in Europe have told me, it's over the horizon radar. A very rapid, that type of thing. So, yeah, it's not coming from stateside, dude. Anyways, I know I flip the array and it almost disappears when I flip it because that thing's got about 20 dB front to back. So it's coming out of Europe. Go ahead, Doug, man. I'll be back, I don't know, 20 minutes or so if you guys are still around this afternoon. Nice to hear you, and I'm glad you're having fun with the Anan. I love this damn thing. I do. I love this thing. Thing's just a freaking crackerjack of a rig. KV2 UKA, K1 GMM. We'll see you in a bit.
All right, Steve. Yeah, I'm loving it. I just realized
Forgot to kill the stream. We'll see you guys later. Duh. Anyways, I gotta go. We'll see you guys later. Thanks for